Yo, what is good everyone? This is OJ over here from PlayerEssence and welcome to the PE News video. Today we've got a lot of Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controller system info from an actual official Nintendo Switch developer, Syrenne McNulty. I hope I said her name right. Now, I've actually listened to her before on Nintendo World Report on the Radio Free Nintendo podcast that they do. She's been developing on Nintendo systems, I think, since the Wii U. So she's definitely relatively new, but she's still an official developer, and she does have a kit or definitely information on the Nintendo Switch, and she gave a lot of details on the Radio Free podcast recently, so I wanted to talk about all of this. There still could be a few things here or there that I definitely want to learn more about officially from Nintendo, but a lot of this stuff is coming straight from a developer. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is on the Joy-Cons of the Nintendo Switch. Lots of tech. HD Rumble is the real deal. The bottom of the Joy-Con will vibrate if an ice cube hits the bottom of the glass, and a full glass of ice cubes will make the top of the Joy-Con rumble, like the Joy-Con becomes the glass. Basically, the rumble can vibrate at different intensities, but also at different locations instead of just being one giant motor. IR pointer is great. It would be difficult to make Wii BC games work with it, but not impossible. Comfortable to hold while separated and joined together. It doesn't look ergonomic, but they fit in the hands naturally. The motion tech is on par with Oculus Touch and Vive controllers. Very accurate, way better than Wii Motion Plus and PS Plus Move controllers, and it detects subtle movement. So I want to talk about this just a little bit before we get into the next thing. I'll kind of break it down one by one because there's a lot of information here. So I talked about this a little bit as far as the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controllers. A lot of people are making a lot of noise about them being too expensive, but if you look at the tech that they're packing into there, this is tech that one isn't in the PS4 and Xbox One controllers and is seen in more of the advanced controllers of the Oculus Touch and the Vive. Now, as I talked about in my last video, those controllers are around $200 to get those controllers. The Joy-Cons are $80 to get them. So it's not like Nintendo is taking just faulty kind of like Wii tech or Wii Remote tech and putting that into this and saying, okay, here you go. They are actually innovating with the HD Rumble as far as different parts, and that can actually lead to some awesome gameplay. I've talked about No More Heroes and the sensation of having the blade cut at the front of it. I do think that can lead to some stuff, and hopefully Nintendo plays their cards right and we see some awesome stuff built into that. I think The Legend of Zelda, lots of different games can use that HD Rumble tech, so I'm really excited about that. And the fact that it detects subtle movements, it has IR, the tech is really good inside there, and I'm actually really excited to play with Joy-Con controllers in addition to playing with a Nintendo Switch Pro controller. And speaking of that Pro controller, it has everything the Joy-Con has, including HD Rumble and motion controls. It does not have an IR pointer. The D-pad is iconic Nintendo D-pad. It's very comfortable. Now this one I'm not so sure about, but she says analog triggers. There's been back and forth on that. I think that they're digital, but here it says analog. It might just be a mistake. She says the battery life is great, but not the 80 hours the Wii U Pro controller got, but she's happy with the battery life. Moving on here, next. Developing for the Nintendo Switch. She says that she's very happy about it. It's easy to develop for. Anything she wants to do, she can. There's really no limits. Has a great tool set, but she cannot talk specs at all. Moving on here, she gets onto the My Nintendo and Virtual Console. She says that My Nintendo tracks all of your 3DS and Wii U purchases, not your Wii ones. Her theory on VC is if you bought a VC game on 3DS or Wii U, you'll pay an upgrade fee like you did on the Wii U. However, if you bought the same VC game on both Wii U and 3DS, you'll get the Switch VC game for free. If you've only bought it on the Wii VC, you're out of luck. Next, she moves on to the online subscription part, and she says that the free game a month is exactly like PS Plus. As long as you download within that free month, it's yours to keep as long as you're subscribed. Now, there's been some confusion on this. Some have thought, or at least it's been reported, that it's a free month trial. Then after that month trial, the game actually just disappears and you do not own that game anymore, and you'll have the option to buy it. We don't know if it's at a reduced price or not, but there's been some back and forth and some confusion on that, okay? She's saying that you actually get to keep the game as long as you're subscribed. So we still need more details on that one. She also says that the free game download a month is chosen by Nintendo because if they offered all VC games with online, the player base would be split and you'd never find enough people for a match. Whereas with this method, everyone who's downloading the game is part of the same player pool. Next, she moves on to the Wii U and how that system never made money. every Wii U unit was sold at a loss. The gamepad cost to build, including labor, was $95. The Wii U console itself costed $140 to $150 to produce, add in shipping and retailer cut, and there's no room for price drops. The Nintendo Switch price is, though, set up for future price cuts that are still profitable, ditto for the expensive controllers. So I have to talk about this just a little bit because I do think that was one of the main downfalls. And I actually said that about the Wii U, is that the gamepad was just too much to manufacture as far as what they were doing with that. It's big, it's bulky, it just takes up a lot of space, and they were never really able to cut the price of that gamepad down in order to get real price cuts on the Nintendo Wii U without taking astronomical losses. So that's why you never saw a real price cut on the Wii U. Whereas with the Nintendo Switch, it is using different type of tech. It does not pack in some big bulky extra peripheral with it. It has the Joy-Con controllers, it has all of that, but she does say that there's room for price cuts with the tech that's built into the Nintendo Switch, just because I think it's more intelligently built. It's definitely more tech that's not necessarily out there and available to everything, but tech that's still being used and would not be a problem if you had to cut the price or find cheaper ways to make it a little bit better as far as reducing production costs, just like the PS4, Xbox One have reduced production costs over the years, and the Wii did that as well. GameCube, many systems before reduced production costs, PS3, and I think this time they're going to have that set to where you can reduce the production costs, whereas with the Wii U, you just couldn't. Next, she finally talks about that expensive dock, and she says that it's just not a pass-through. You won't see third-party docks. It has proprietary technology, not just the empty shell that charges and pass through HDMI. That's why it's expensive. It has to read the Switch is docked, switch the signal to HDMI since the Switch doesn't have an HDMI port on the unit itself, and then HDMI to TV. So that's one of the reasons why the dock maybe is $90. I still think that is definitely pricey for an extra dock there, but it's not just an empty shell like she's saying. It definitely has some tech built into that. The technology is proprietary, so it is tech that you're not going to see other companies doing, so that's why you kind of see that, and Nintendo isn't forecasting a lot of these being sold, so maybe that's probably the reason why the price is like that. I never thought about buying extra docks anyway. I mean, if I want to play it in a different place in the house, I'll probably just take it and play it in portable mode. That's the reason why you can do that, but it would be nice to have more docks, obviously, if you wanted to have different TVs that they're connected to. With the price of some of the Joy-Cons and the Nintendo Switch dock, you're probably just better off buying another Nintendo Switch, but that's just my take on the matter. Anyway, I did want to talk about a couple of these different things. So the online subscription, we still need to learn a lot more about this. I think Nintendo has put out some vague announcements on it. It's not necessarily 100% clear. We just know that we have to pay for it, and they're going to be increasing server size and support, and they're going to have a voice chat app in addition to setting up game invites and all of that. But we still need to see how it interacts with the system. We still need to see how that app interacts in general. What type of features does it have? And remember, it is a free trial until the actual fall period. So I'm pretty sure they're going to add things in and do different type of stuff while that trial period is going on. I do think like the tech that she talks about with the Joy-Cons is fantastic. Obviously, she can't talk specs, but yes, it is easier to develop for. There are no limits, especially for an indie developer like she is. There's no limits. You can do whatever you want, whatever your budget will incur. You can put the graphics in there. You can put what you want, kind of like you can on other systems at this point. Whereas with the Wii U and the Wii, probably not. 3DS, heck no on that system. So I definitely like to see that. I'm really most excited about is, of course, the Joy-Cons and playing ARMS. I think that technology is going to be fantastic. And of course, the Nintendo Switch Pro Controller. That Pro Controller just looks great to me. So overall, I'm excited. We're going to get this system in March, and more details will be coming very soon. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did like it. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for more news, reviews, trailers, tips and tricks, and everything in gaming. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys for the next video. Peace.